What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another riveting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick. I'm here at the lake house with my lovely wife, Natalie Joy. We got the household, keeping the house clean, safe, tidy.
Held.
Keeping the household held.
I'm the new daddy now.
We got Sweet Boy Justin, we got Sierra in the household from LA. And boy, do we have a lot to get into. But before we do, make sure you all check out that Micah episode, the Going Deeper special we dropped yesterday. If you haven't listened to it, it's a must listen. In fact, if you haven't listened to it, just go ahead and press pause on this episode, go back, listen to it, and come back to us. It is worth your time. We really enjoy talking with Micah. I don't know if you guys have any takeaways, but what a sweet, sweet person. I always love interviewing people who, especially their second time on television, especially people who have had a difficult go of it the first time around. And Micah's definitely someone you see a lot of growth in. You see a lot of maturity. Loved talking to her about her journey on TV. Obviously, all the things that went down in the Perfect Match house. It was a messy, messy house. Obviously, we'll get into the whole where are they now and some kind of fallout from the finale. But yeah, go back and check that episode out. Also, we're finally on Twitter or X, whatever you're calling it. I still call it Twitter.
Same.
Do you guys call it X?
No.
Well, people say
call it
like
X?
when you tweet something, so it's still Twitter technically.
Yeah. And
Right?
if somebody said
Like when you
X, you
X
would
something, that's
Is that what you're supposed to say when you X something?
Yeah.
like, no.
whatever. You know what? If you want to buy an app for $40 billion, I guess you can rename it, but like the people are still gonna like call it Twitter, right?
Right.
Okay, sorry, Alon. Anyways, we are on Twitter. It's at the Viall Files. I think there's a Viall Files Twitter out there that we stopped using. We just remade a new one. Go follow us. Check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. Don't miss out. Different ways to engage with the show. If you are on Twitter, X, be sure to follow us. You won't regret it. I promise. Later in the episode, we have Hannah Smith from Love Island, USA, joining the show. She is fresh out of the villa. She was kicked out not too long ago. I never imagined I would be as sad as I was to see her go. She really won over the hearts of, well, Nally and I assume most of America. But we'll get to chat with her, get some tea from her of all the things going down in the villa. It's an amazing show. Love Island USA.
Welcome.
Did you watch previous seasons? I know people have been telling us like this season competes with UK. We have yet to watch UK yet, but like it is a very well done show.
Oh, yeah. No, it's one of my favorites, UK and USA. And when they coincide at the same time, it's like no free time. No free time.
So Hannah joins us later in the episode. All right, now it's time for household headlines.
Well, you two just took a flight. Can I ask how it was? And did you happen to be flying a Boeing? Are you aware if you were flying a Boeing?
Are there any commercial airlines that are not Boeing? I just kind of assumed they're all Boeings.
That's what I kind of thought too. I believe the Airbuses are different. Boeing is the #1 most recognizable airline, but they are in hot water right now. U.S. prosecutors recommend criminal charges for Boeing. Prosecutors in the United States are recommending that criminal charges be brought against Boeing after finding the plane maker violated a settlement related to 2 fatal crashes. 2 people familiar with the matter told Reuters news agency. So the DOJ has to decide by July 7th whether to prosecute Boeing. And I was reading a little bit up on it, and it was saying that like during the hearing, one of the quality engineers alleged that the company isolated, transferred, and threatened him after he raised concerns that the fuselage of the company's 787 Dreamliner was not properly fused together, which could cause the plane to break apart mid-flight. He's raised issues over 3 years and was ignored and told to shut up, essentially.
Scary.
What? That's put them all in jail.
Right?
Right.
It's
Put them absolutely all in jail. I saw something online that, not to get into the weeds, but like, you know, when the people who are running Boeing now are not engineers. They're like basically spreadsheet guys. The guy, I think it sounds like the CEO of Boeing is like an accounting major, which that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing, I guess, unless they like, if you only care about the money and not about like your planes not crashing, because I guess Boeing used to be run by like engineers, which you would think, you know, people who know how to make planes should be the ones running the companies, not the people who know how to make spreadsheets. That being said, that really has nothing to do with the fact that like, at least you should listen to your engineers. I'm a little worried that no one's going to go to jail. I think in these situations, like what was the show, the painkiller movies we saw, the one about DuPont or Dupan or what was the drug? Purdue Pharma.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the people who really were guilty didn't seem to ever really go to jail.
Nope.
I hope I'm wrong here, but when it comes to these white collar crimes, it feels like they're able to like hide behind the corporate veil, as they say. I hope I'm wrong, but like when they say they're, prosecuting, who are they prosecuting? Who gives a crap about the company per se? I want the people who made these decisions not be able to continue to make these decisions. And then how do we continue to hold this company accountable to make sure decisions like this are not made in the future?
Yeah.
To answer your question, we did deal with a little bit of turbulence. It was a little scary. There was a big bump. I had to remind myself, I've heard this, that in the history of flight, there have been no plane crashes that have been caused by turbulence. Now,
however,
maybe turbulence caused a screw to go loose, and it was the screw that caused the plane to snap in half. But it's not
Here's
the
the
turbulence.
stuff that I can't think about, I can't talk about because I'll never get on a plane again. So I just like ignorance is bliss. Like none of like planes are made by the smartest people alive, and
Yeah, I'm kind of like Natalie. Like
Apparently
I don't
not.
have flight
Well-
anxiety, but I've never thought about it.
I have the most.
Like I
flight
just don't think
anxiety.
about the possibility of anything happening.
I told Justin
I just can't think about it.
earlier that my trick is that I always watch a
007
007 movie, so it makes it feel like it's a 4D movie, so it can like trick my brain into not being nervous. And the copious amounts of prosecco on the flight help too. But yeah.
Wait, well, how does aren't there like a lot of plane crashes in James Bond movies?
Well, James Bond, there's a lot of like action happening for 2.5 hours straight, and there's like 4 or 5 of them. So it's like if I put them on, for some reason, it convinces my brain that it's more of a 4D movie than turbulence, that I'm 30,000 feet in the air and could possibly plummet to my death. So
After a glass of prosecco, you wouldn't tell the difference.
exactly,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Got
4D movie experience.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. Thank you.
All right. Well, anyways, cross your fingers when you're flying. What else do we got?
Did you see that Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are coming back for Freaky Friday too?
I did
Love,
that. So,
obsessed.
they're on set. They're currently
Yeah,
filming.
they're filming it right now. Yeah. Question for you, Nick and Natalie. What would you guys do if you switched bodies? Like, what's the first thing you would do if you woke up and Nick, you were in Natalie's body, and Natalie, you were in Nick's body?
Great question. I guess I would just see what kind of power you possess. Like how do people respond to you? I feel like this is not a good question for the married couples.
Why?
Because the obvious question is to take a peek at the privates.
Right.
Well, first,
You
yeah.
know?
Couples usually go sexual with that answer.
and play with the privates like in a way that you
Natalie's
might not
face.
have access to when it's not your body.
Speak
You
for
know.
yourself. I don't have interest in doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't play with it, but I definitely pee standing up.
I was gonna say you could go to a public like restroom and not
for
have to.
sure.
See what
pee
that's
standing
like.
up.
Yeah.
So what, do I try
Um,
squatting? So that the big win for switching bodies is to know what it's like to pee differently? Well, I'm just saying, like, what's the big...
Well, I
what's-
think it's definitely like different. Like we live the same lives, So like I feel like for the Freaky Friday movie is like it's completely, it's the mom who like does her 9 to 5, and then the teenage daughter who's like
Yeah.
obsessed with rock music and like dating all the, like I feel like that's
That's
what's
what I'm
fun
saying.
about
Yeah,
Freaky
because like
Friday.
as a married couple,
For
like,
us, it's
we have
like-
the same access to the same things. What would you guys do if you switched bodies?
If I switch bodies
Each
with
other.
Justin,
I would go to a movie premiere,
Yeah.
post a photo, drink a glass of prosecco without getting a headache.
I would bleach my hair. I would take a photo in 0.5 because would work for me.
That
Then
is me. Yes.
wear trendy clothes and say
cute.
everything's vintage.
Okay, that's not true.
Yes.
Now, the vintage part.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Sierra, speaking of this,
Yeah.
did you see this video that's gone viral of this girl on TikTok? I don't know how old she is.
Hartui girl?
No, I don't know how old she is, but she's like doing some sort of haul, and she's like, it's like these leopard print shorts, and she's like, and I have these vintage Charlotte Rouse.
She says it wrong.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I saw. Yeah.
Kills me.
But also vintage.
Vintage. that was like one step up from Old
Charlotte
Navy.
Roos. No,
Forever
yeah, that
21
was, like,
adjacent.
Rue 21.
Literally.
Even I know that.
Yeah.
I'm
And that girl
assuming
looks like
this
she
was
was
like
older.
a popular outfit a few years ago.
It was a popular store.
Charlotte
like-
Ruse.
It's like
Charlotte
Forever
Rue's a popular
21
store,
Day.
Is it no
so-
longer open?
I don't think
I don't
so.
know if it is still open. If it is, it's probably in like Maybe no, it definitely is.
I guess the question would be, can fast fashion be vintage?
No,
Right? Like,
no.
Well, I mean, you really have to take care of it. Like,
well, I'm
you
shocked
know,
that
that
first
H&M t-shirt is not exactly going to like stand the test of time unless you don't ever use it.
So it
or
is
wash
it is still open, but it looks like there's only 6 on the East Coast. So
Bless.
they're not doing too well, but they have
Only
a couple.
6
on the East Coast.
I said, so I'm in
Okay.
LA and I did stores near me and it showed me the East Coast and there's only 6 options. So
in all of the United
says a lot.
States.
Okay. I'm
No, but-
assuming the internet is having a day with this person who made
Yeah.
this video.
I think it's just like the people who did wear Charlotte Russe is now like, babe, like that is obviously she probably found it in like a Goodwill and, you know, was like, oh, maybe it's it just Charlotte Russe, which kind of sounds like, you know, someone's name. It sounds like a,
Well, question if
It
you
could be
find
a
something at
designer.
Goodwill, is it instantly vintage or is it just
No.
used?
No,
no,
it's
there's
just
a difference.
used.
Yeah. Well, and she went the next step
yeah,
where
it
she
depends
changed
on the brand.
when she changed the pronunciation of the name to make it sound more vintage. Where it wasn't Charlotte Russe, it was Charlotte Rouse or Russ or whatever it was.
Yeah.
No, when you find like a
Brutal.
vintage Chanel or like Ferragamo, that's like a big deal. Finding a Charlotte Russe shirt, and I'm assuming she probably paid the same amount that it was originally
Probably, yeah.
costed. Because I'm like, Charlotte Russe was like, what, 20, 30 bucks?
It wasn't that
Tops?
expensive.
It was not
Yeah.
expensive at all.
Ah, God, that's funny.
Like,
Takes you back.
she might have overpaid for it.
Okay.
Should we get to Billy Ray Cyrus?
Get to it.
So Billy Ray Cyrus is now claiming that he was physically and emotionally and verbally abused by his ex, Fire Rose, who denies those allegations. On June 14th, there was a court filing where Fire Rose accused her ex of extreme verbal, emotional, and psychological abuse. But in a new legal document, Billy Ray Cyrus claims that he was the one physically, verbally, and emotionally abused by his estranged wife. So it's kind of like a Johnny
To be
Depp.
clear, this is not Hannah Montana's mom
No,
and
this
dad.
is not Tish Cyrus.
I mean, it's
It's her dad,
not Tish.
It's her
It's her
dad,
dad, but
it's his
not
new
her mom.
wife.
Yes,
It's his new wife. Okay.
Fire Rose.
All right. Boy, this family.
Yeah.
This family. How long is Fire Rose?
Yeah,
Immediately a red flag.
that's what I said too. But I think they filed for divorce after 7 months.
I also did just see Miley did the David Letterman, that show on Netflix. David Letterman's like
David Letterman's new show on
Yeah.
Netflix.
a sit down with David Letterman or something
Yeah.
like that. And she talks about her relationship with her father. And it's just so crazy how I guess it seemed like they were, and maybe they were so close on Hannah Montana. And then now it's like he is not a great person. And she's attributes some of her, correct me if I'm wrong, but she attributes some of her like narcissistic tendencies to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Interesting.
she's like, he's the one who has that.
Can you, if you're a narcissist, are you aware of your you can have narcissistic tendencies and yeah, interesting. So anyway, she thinks he's a deadbeat dad.
There's that saying where they say narcissists accuse other narcissists of being narcissists because they don't like see that they're the one actually being
Yes.
it. So there's that.
But I mean, I didn't see this interview, but hearing Natalie mentioning it, that doesn't sound like she's acknowledging her own narcissism.
Yeah, she's not a
And again, we
narcissist.
all have narcissistic tendencies. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean you are a malignant narcissist per se. I don't really know the difference. Maybe someone smarter than us can articulate it in the comments, but
But I guess that's just, I don't know what the truth what that goes down between him and Fire Rose and, you know, her allegations versus his allegations. But it does seem like all of Billy Ray's family is kind of, it's giving Brad Pitt's family. They're all kind of like,
Siding with
we
Tish.
don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's saying something because she married her daughter's lover, and they're still Team Tish.
Allegedly.
Well,
Allegedly. How does a family get
Messy.
this messy?
I don't know.
Messy. I would love to sit at dinner with them and just like a family dinner.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's even a possibility of like Tish and Billy Ray being at the same table? Like what could transpire if like it was a whole family dinner?
What, do you think they even like? Are they even talking to Billy at this point?
I don't think so. Would you? Like,
I mean, it's like my mom hasn't talked to my dad since, you know, like I was in high school and she had to, you know, like there's just no reason for my mom to communicate with my dad now.
'cause
So
Right.
it's like
all of the kids are grown
all
up.
of her kids
yeah.
are grown. There's no reason to like communicate.
It is
with
amazing
Billy.
how like people's ability to hold a grudge over years and years and years.
Sometimes
you
a
know.
grudge is warranted, though.
agreed.
Yeah.
That's exactly what my dad says.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you
he's
go.
held, and he's held a 40-year grudge over my mom.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, I think I would
He's
forget
like,
about
well, it's
it.
warranted. Like you've been remarried for 20 years now. At what point do we move on?
Let it go.
He's like, never.
Natalie,
Never.
would you
Never
hold a
move on.
grudge against Nick if he shaved his head again?
No, he kind of has. He's gone buzzed. You mean like bald?
Big.
Like Joey Graziadei bald, like that version.
Oh
of
no,
it.
no.
Can I see a picture of
He
this?
didn't go bald.
I bet he
went
looks good.
buzzed.
Did he buzz?
Yeah,
It's a buzz.
Do you like it, Justin?
I like
it's
it.
a buzz. Bald is not one hair on his head. I think it's cute. I think Nick went buzz during
Special
quarantine.
forces.
Does he have the face for it?
Yeah, he kind of went shorter for special forces, but he full on buzzed for in quarantine, and it was he was living in Venice, and I was visiting him for a week.
Oh, he looks great. That's a
And
great face.
He forced me to record a video. It was
Forced.
like well, we were like just, we just like kind of started seeing each other, and he like we like weren't, nothing about us was public, so he's like, oh, I need you to record this, like it was one of your
First, it was
videos, but I remember the mirror was behind him. He's like, little lower. Yeah, we could see a reflection. Little lower.
I was recording those like hanging with me videos where it was like 4 different versions of Nick.
Oh yeah.
He was so
and-
creative in the quarantine.
And Natalie helped me make one, and I was like, "Should I cut my hair? Or should I shave it off?" And Natalie was like, "Yeah." This is at a time where Natalie was kind of like saying like yes to everything. And she's like, "Oh, you look so good with it. You look so hot." Like
well, I didn't want to
years
hurt
later,
his feelings.
I
He
was like,
I'm
"Should
I'm gonna buzz my hair." I'm like, okay.
I'm gonna buzz my hair again. And she's like, "Nah, I wouldn't do that again." And I'm like, "Wait, you told me how hot it was like when I first did it. It's just like
I just was trying to be supportive in the beginning.
I was
but
gonna
now
say-
I can be like, no. we're not
I was
doing
gonna say you're being bold because hair is the makeup for boys, so you were giving up that luxury.
that. There you go. I feel like facial hair is also a big part
Yeah.
of their makeup,
1,000%.
and it
Wait,
will completely change a man's.
At what
face.
point do y'all like start telling us the truth when in a relationship? Like, also, this reminds me of Hannah, who we're about to talk to. Like, her big thing was like, "Oh my God, me too. I love that too. Same. Oh my God, yes." It was like everything that a guy would say to Hannah. She was just being very agreeable. And this is not to be critical of our dear Hannah, who we're going to talk to, but like, it seems to be a pattern that you will lead us down to any path if you think that we
I mean, it's just
feel good about ourselves.
It's just like the Rob being like, "Listen, are you going to catch a snake?" And being like, "Yeah, I would love to catch a snake. That's been a dream of mine." And like, that's the last thing I ever want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
Is it because like, and I think as us guys, I do think we appreciate a cool hang.
Mm-hmm.
I do think a lot of guys value when they're thinking about qualities they want in a partner. At least I'm speaking for the straight men out there. A cool hang. And so is that why, do you guys know that? Is that why you're lying to us about the things that you enjoy or like or that you're interested in? And do you find that men do that as much as y'all doing it to us? Like in a relationship, are there moments where I was like, "Yeah, I don't like that," and you're thinking, "Wait, for the past year and a half, I've been operating on the assumption that you said I looked hot."
yeah, I definitely feel. Well, Nick has been like, I feel like
Tell us more.
you. No. Nick will be like, "Oh, I love that." So then I'm like, "Okay," and I do it every single day. Like he was like, "I love when you like slick back your hair. It just really shows like your beauty and your face." And so I was like, "Okay, slick back my hair every day."
Ponytail.
And then one day I wore my hair down, and he was like, "Your hair looks so good down. Like, why did you stop wearing?" And I'm like, "Because I thought you loved my hair slicked back." He's like, "No, I really like your hair down." I'm like,
No, I really like it slicked back, but like I like the options. That's not the same as you guys just flat out like lying to us about the things you enjoy or the things you like about us early in the dating situation, only to find out after we're in a committed relationship, you're like, "Yeah, no, I never really liked that, to be honest." And I feel like y'all do that a lot.
I don't know.
I feel like guys do it more, right?
Yeah, I feel like that too. I was like,
I'm not talking about like a Harry Jowsey like lying and like saying "I love you" when you really don't love you, and like I'm not saying men don't lie.
No, yeah.
Men lie about a lot of things.
I wouldn't lie about things that I'm interested in, because then I know that there's going to be like a pay the piper situation where it's like, okay, I got to stick to a football game. And now I'm like, fuck, now I have to pretend like I like football. I can't keep up the charade.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that type of thing. I'm like, from the get-go, I'm not a sports girl. I'm not this. I'm not that. If you wear, like, for example, Connor has a shirt that I fucking hated when we first started dating, and he would wear it kind of often. And then, yeah, there was a part where we got comfortable and he asked me like how I felt about his outfit. And I was like, just please don't wear that shirt. And he's like, wait, what? Why? That's one of my favorite shirts. And I was like, it does nothing for you. It washes you out. And he's like, why wouldn't you just tell me that? And I was like, because you clearly love the shirt. Now I know that you love me more than you love that shirt can go.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I feel like it's definitely, yeah, I agree with you, Sierra. It's not about lying about like activities
or like who you
what
are as a
you're
person.
into. I feel like, yeah, because then you're right. There will be a time where it's like, oh, well, you did say you loved going into caves. And so like, let's go into this cave and like be around cockroaches. And it's like, whoa, I don't want to do that. But I do think like you don't want to hurt their feelings early on. You don't want to like come off a little bit too like, abrasive. So you're like, okay, maybe I'll just keep my mouth shut. And then at some point you get a little comfortable and you're like, yeah, that's gotta go.
It's a no.
Yeah, you gotta cut that out. You gotta cut that out.
Noted.
Yeah.
It's always like it always is alarming.
Is it though? Because it's like I feel like you get to the point where it's like we're so comfortable in our relationship that you can be 100% transparent and honest, where it's like, but you know that I care about you, so it's not hurting your feelings.
Well, just like the example Natalie gave, I think that like when you find out the real truth, you always think back about all the other times that you had a different impression, like with Connor with the t-shirt. So it's like every time I wore this shirt, I looked like an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously we're dramatic about it.
I was gonna say the drama.
Yeah.
If you looked like an asshole, I would tell you look like an asshole. It looks like you don't know how to dress yourself. And like, that's okay. Most men don't. But like, now that we're together, I also even got you a new shirt to replace that ugly shirt. Like, I'm doing you a favor.
Subtle hints.
Exactly.
You're doing the Lord's work.
Exactly. I'm letting you be who you are and then slowly helping you morph into a better version, a better dressed version.
Well, I wonder if Jason Tardik is doing that with his new girlfriend.
Introducing her to the parents.
I love them together.
Aren't they cute?
Yeah.
I think it's so cute. Yeah.
I'm really happy for Jason. I've heard that he's incredibly happy. I've heard it's the happiest he's ever been, and I'm really excited for him. Yeah, he seems really at peace. Like I always enjoyed Jason's company. He's a good dude. He's one of the few people that I will go to and ask a question or two from Bachelor Nation. I think he's a high character guy. I really like him. I think it's great to see him happy.
Yeah.
Just all to say, he seems really happy. I've heard he's happy. I'm happy he's happy. And I look forward to meeting his new girlfriend. I've not met her, but
his heart is full.
Really happy for them. And his heart does seem fuller than ever.
Well, speaking of someone whose heart is not full, Danielle Olivera from Summerhouse has announced that she will not be returning to the next season of Summerhouse.
We lost our CEO.
We
Do we
lost
have
our
a reason
founder.
why?
She said
Is she
she just
focusing on her
ultimately
app?
needed to trust her gut, and that it was that she stepped away for a season prior, and that it did wonders for her. So that she's going to repeat that with this upcoming season and focus on her company.
She did say it's a heartbreaking decision.
Wait, so do we believe that this was her decision? So she did step back in the past and come back?
She has
Is that accurate?
stepped away, or she was not like a full-time cast member. I want to say season 4 or something, but I don't know that this is her decision as much as I feel like maybe she hasn't been representing herself well, in my opinion. That's not to say that that's true, but in my opinion, I feel like she hasn't been representing herself well in Winter House and Summer House, that it might be good for her to not be on reality TV while she's trying to get her company and life in order.
I have a gut feeling it wasn't her
It's
choice.
Something Kyle Cook should
Yeah.
also do. Maybe.
But is there
Maybe she like heard your note about her app and was like, "Wait, I have to figure out a solution to having
I have too many
people
changes.
take pictures of all their too many changes."
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it was that. Maybe
Well, I'm
she's-
sorry, but also you're welcome. I feel like maybe that feels valid to me. I don't know. And maybe she has maybe I just need to download the app and figure it out. Maybe there is a way that you can bypass taking a photo of every single item in your closet. I don't know.
I feel like Paige DeSorbo told her to not come back. Paige made it pretty clear at the reunion that she was not on
Team
her
Danielle. Yeah.
side. And maybe she just kind of felt intimidated by being an outsider.
I will say this is my first
You
Summer
know.
House season, and Danielle did nothing for the plot line besides sleeping with Balloon Guy. So
and making Gabby cry? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like it wasn't
she
her
really
best
didn't
look
have-
this
Yeah,
season.
I
Who do we
agree.
think they're going to replace her with?
Craig.
Like a random new girl, like a la West Wilson to like shake it up? You
Oh,
know, like
For sure.
a temptress, if you will.
For who? Carl?
Kyle, Carl, any of them, Jesse, West. It's not for the producers to decide who takes the bait. I just want,
It's
I
true.
want someone to come in who's willing to like
Shake things up
You know.
a bit.
be
There's
a
more-
temptation.
There's more girls than
know?
guys in the house, right?
I feel like, yeah. That's why it was so
Yeah, but
nice
we
to
don't
have
need
Wes
more
and
guys.
Jesse.
No, we don't need more guys. I agree.
Yeah, we don't. I want a single eligible lady that is dynamic and
A little messy.
a little messy, and even the guys in relationships have a hard time looking the other way.
Maybe someone from Southern Charm. Like Craig joins the cast full time and then brings someone over with him. That could work.
He would never.
Yeah.
Probably not, but
He would. That means he has to move.
Well, the show must go on, and it will.
We will see.
All right. Well, that about does it for our household headlines. It's now time to bring in Hannah, recently sent home from the island or the villa. I really have to work on my Love Island lingo.
Mhm.
It's for all you Love Islanders out there. Well, it's a work in progress. But again, I'm into the show. So let's bring on Hannah. There's nothing quite like a long shower after a busy day.
Or showering as a new parent.
Mm.
Let me tell you, that is elite.
And nothing pairs better than a shower with Cremo body wash. It smells as good as it cleanses.
No one does luxurious shower experiences like Cremo. Cremo body washes combine rich, lathering, and hydrating formulas with elegant fragrances that will elevate your hygiene routine. Cremo's 3 newest women's body wash scents make a regular shower feel like a spa day. White Jasmine Amber soothes your body with a delicious gourmand scent. Wild Iris Musk engages the senses with a vibrant yet warm mix of citrus and florals, and Almond Bloom refreshes the skin with a cozy combination of creamy almond and pink pepper. That one is my favorite. These thoughtfully designed scents evolve as you wash, and it's almost impossible to choose a favorite, except I did, and it's Almond Bloom.
Ladies, I know what you're thinking. Your man in your life is going to be jealous of your Cremo body wash, but don't worry. They also make men's products, which I love. So don't let your man get jealous of how you're washing your body. Just get them some Cremo as well, and you guys can wash yourselves together.
Cremo also offers a wide range of other grooming products for women, including shave cream, razors, and hydration mist, all in a variety of unforgettable, dreamy fragrances.
You can find all the new decadent scents of Cremo's women's body wash at Walgreens and CVS or CremoCompany.com. Once again, that's Walgreens, CVS, or CremoCompany.com. That's CREMO Company.com. One last time, you can find Cremo at Walgreens, CVS, or CremoCompany.com.
Gooder, what's the point of spending hundreds of dollars on a pair of sunglasses you are just going to lose?
I don't know, because there's never been a pair of sunglasses I've owned that I haven't lost or broken, and now I no longer let it bother me, because with Gooder, I'm getting those amazing sunglasses for just $25.
No slip, no bounce, all polarized, and all fun. Gooder has over 50,000 5-star reviews, comes with a 1-year warranty and 30-day free returns, plus they're a 100% carbon neutral company.
Put your Gooder glasses next side by side to those high-end luxury sunglasses, and I'm promising you, you will not be able to tell the difference. Gooder is great because they're 100% polarized, and again, only $25. They're always releasing new colors and new styles.
They're great for running, cycling, working out, golfing, going to the beach, hiking, or just chilling. They are lightweight, stylish, and don't slip off your face. They also don't pull your hair when you put them on top of your head.
If you want to support the show and try a pair, Gooder is giving the Viall File listeners free shipping. You can go to gooder.com/VIALL and use code VIALL for free shipping. Gooder offers a 30-day money-back guarantee and 100% satisfaction. Again, that's gooder.com/VIALL and use code VIALL for free shipping. GOODR.com/VIALL. Gooder.com/VIALL.
Also, they released a new frame, the Retro G. It's a new pair of vintage-inspired shades available in 4 colors.
A must-have for everybody.
There's a lot of decisions you have to make when you have a baby, and the one that I feel the most comfortable and safe making is using Huggies for our daughter, River. I always tell Nick that when River's crying, she's trying to tell us something, and that's the case with most babies. They express it through cries, and so we've turned to Huggies. The new Huggies Skin Essentials are here. A brand new dermatologist-approved line of diapers, wipes, and pull-ups training pants that are all designed with baby's sensitive skin in mind.
Their wipes are so thick and pH balanced to help maintain healthy skin. Their wipes have 0 harsh ingredients for a great, gentle clean.
The Skin Essential Diapers features the Skin Protect Liner, which is what helps take care of the ick and stick that can cause rash. They have this liner built in their diapers.
The whole diaper helps protect against the top 2 causes of rash by managing moisture and running mess. The liner gives you the barrier to help absorb moisture and lock away runny mess from baby skin. Pull-Up Skin Essentials has your big kid covered too with a training pant that is ultra soft and breathable to help protect sensitive skin through potty training. Learn more at Huggies.com.
Once again, head to Huggies.com to learn more.
This show is brought to you by Built Rewards. Listen up, renters. Ever feel like you're stuck in this loop of rent payments, just watching your money vanish into thin air? It's time to turn that rent game around and start earning some serious rewards. That's where Built Rewards comes in. Built is breaking the ground as the first reward program that hooks you up with points on your rent.
Even if you're still rocking the old school rent check vibes, Built Reward has got your back. They'll mail the check for you. It's like having a personal rent-paying assistant. Every month, pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. Use points to jet off on a dream vacation. Put your points toward a flight or hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. Or redeem your points to book fitness studio classes.
You can also use your points towards a future rent payment or toward a future down payment on a home. Pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. Earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/VIALL. That is joinbilt.com/VIALL. Make sure you use our URL so they know we sent you. Again, that's joinbuilt.com/VIALL to start earning points on your rent payments today. Rank the highest value point currency.
Hi.
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 How are you guys?
We're doing great. Hannah, how are you?
I am doing good. I have a lot of emotions. Not gonna lie, it's very weird to be back in the real world. It's crazy. Not gonna lie. Like, I do have a lot of anxiety coming out. I'm like, I was living in a Barbie dream house, just chilling with my friends. I didn't know what day it was, what time it was, and now I'm over here like, please take my phone again. I can't deal with it.
When did you get back?
So I literally got back 2 days ago. So, I'm still on Fiji time because Fiji is a day ahead. So, I'm so tired. I'm just trying to get back to normal life. I was out to eat with my mom yesterday and some 6 little girls came up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, we loved you. Can we take photos? And I'm like, huh? What's going
So you
on?
went from a couple weeks ago just being, a wonderful, normal human being that you are. And then you got on a plane, you went to the villa and you came back and now you're taking selfies with fans. Well, that's got to be a trip.
Crazy. I'm like, y'all want to take a picture with me? What? It's a lot to take in. But I am so thankful and grateful for my experience with Love Island. It was like nothing I've ever experienced before. I'll tell you that.
So how many days were you actually there? Because it's kind of, as a fan, hard to kind of keep up. There's so many episodes. It's amazing just how much they're pumping out.
They pump everything out very fast too. It's basically in real time. I think it's 2 days behind.
Mhm.
But I was out in Fiji for 3 weeks.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was out there for a good little bit of time.
Yeah.
But I was just disassociated with the world. I get brought into this villa. I was one of the OGs, one of the 5 girls that went in. It's pretty scary and it was crazy at first because I'm like, I don't know any of these people, don't know the girls, don't know how, to be honest, how we're going to get along with each other. But those girls, the realest girls ever. They're so sweet and such genuine, beautiful people. Same with the guys. I miss everybody. That was the saddest part. You form a bond with them. You get so close to them. You're living with them. You're showering around them. You're sleeping with them. You get very close very fast.
Your exit, I feel like I think we were both crying.
It was
emotional.
It was I was like, why am I about to cry watching Love Island? I don't this is not what I signed up for. But it definitely was a tearjerker.
I'm not gonna lie. To be there in real life and to just be standing up there and be the last girl and be like, dang, I really didn't get chose. But I'm not gonna lie, I did see it coming. The whole entire day, I kind of knew because as you guys could see, at home watching, I did not have really a strong connection with anybody. It was more just friendships with everyone. So, I literally was like, it's most likely gonna be me, sadly to say. But
and like, I guess how much, obviously, it seems like a lot of people are interested in finding love, but you're also, this is being filmed. It was funny watching you. We were watching literally you last night, and we watched your exit last night.
That's so crazy.
It was a bit of fun. It was like, obviously you're very funny. You have a great, bubbly personality.
Thank you.
You seem to be kind of down and like to do anything in the best possible way. You bring the energy up. It was just funny to see you with some of the guys sometimes, because like
they were literally like my homeboys. I was like, there's no romantic connection here. I would literally be like, what's up, it's Big D. They'd be like, calm down, Big D. Like, take it easy. So yeah, I mean, I got really close with the guys and we just had fun, to be honest. I forgot that there was even cameras around. This was just real life for us. None of it was scripted. Nothing was fake. It was just me being me, my most authentic, genuine self. And, I think the viewers really liked that. And they got to see, my funny and crazy side and, just living life and having fun and getting to know these people on such a personal level.
Were there any guys that you wish you would have had a stronger connection with, that maybe some of the other women kind of swooped in before you did, or was it just, did you feel like it was all friend zoned?
The only person that I really wish, the connection would have lasted and grew stronger was, to be honest, Kendall, because we started out, we just had so much fun and I was very comfortable around him. I always said he was like the guy version of me. We had so many things in common and it was just so fun. But then, obviously you saw Mr. Hakeem come in and, things started to get stirred up a little bit. And I was interested in Hakeem as well. But Hakeem, he's different. He's different.
Can you tell us about Hakeem? Because it seemed like he was, if anything, even after he left, the guys were like, yeah, we love you. And they seemed to want to make him feel better. But he definitely seemed to be kind of the only one who was a bit of an outsider, there's drama sometimes amongst the house and, depending on the situation, but it seemed like for whatever reason, Hakeem didn't really vibe with anyone else. Can you explain why that might be or why he seemed to be such an outsider?
I can definitely explain. So I think as you guys saw, the first kind of incident with Hakeem was at the fire pit, when he just wanted to blurt out about the 50-50. I'm like, please do not tell this man you are 50-50 with him. He will go off on you. And that's just kind of where it started. Because when we first started talking and he came in the villa, to be honest, his vibes were really good. He was funny, fun. That's what made me, attracted and possibly, reconsider. Maybe he might be the one and I might have a stronger connection with him. But he just started kind of like throwing shots and like, he just didn't really watch what he would say. He would just be like, just doing too much. And it's like, don't come at me like that. There's a time and a place. And I just thought it was kind of disrespectful that he just brought that up in front of everybody. He could have pulled me aside. I'm so sorry that I made you feel that type of way, but pull me to the side. Don't do that in front of everybody because number one, Liv chose you. That made her feel uncomfortable. I chose Kendall. That made Kendall feel uncomfortable. It just made everyone feel very uncomfortable. So,
Do you think that kind of started the like, ooh, for Hakeem?
Yeah, it definitely did. Everybody, all the guys even said, you should not have came at Hannah like that. There's a time and a place. You don't need to speak to people like that. And he just did some out of pocket things, We were all chilling one day and it was me, Liv, and the girls and Hakeem. And literally he just stuck his finger in Liv's face and was like, shh. And everybody's like, what's wrong with you? Like, you need to calm down.
So he kind of has a bit of an aggressive side to him, regardless of who he's talking to.
He just needs to, he can be very cool, like I don't have any problems with him, but he just needs to tone it down a little bit. I think he'll be all right.
That argument that he had with Liv.
Yeah.
Was definitely, yeah.
That got heated. I mean, I was just, me, I was just eating snacks and chilling the whole time. And I'm over in the kitchen just eating snacks. And then I'm hearing like this cussing out, like screaming match going back and forth. And I'm just like, are you guys okay? And yeah, he just said some things and he was like, all the guys in the house think you're so much drama. And everybody didn't say that, you know, he was projecting for everybody else. And all the guys.
I hate it when people say that stuff. The worst thing anyone can say is like, other people think this. It's like, it's such a, it's kind of a bully move.
It was just rude. You know what I mean? And it made her very upset. And so I just think the way he talks to people, sometimes it doesn't come off the right way. And he just needs to, you know, think a little bit before he speaks. And, you know.
Have you been able to keep up with what's going on in the villa after you left?
So I didn't see, you know, yesterday's episode, but I did see, you know, where the guys and the girls got to choose who they wanted to leave the villa. And I did see Hakeem. I'm not going to lie. I saw that coming. Like,
yeah, we all saw that coming.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, he didn't have a very strong connection. And I think people, you know, kind of felt some type of way towards him. So, yeah. That was not a hard decision.
I think the big shocker was Andrea going home.
Yes.
It sure seemed like, and, you know, I think it's, you know, there's two arguments, right? Like the girls got to pick and the guys got to pick. So the guys get to pick. However, there was no rules of how they should pick or how they should go about it. The guys seem to be more pragmatic. You know, it's just like, hey, who has the least strongest connection? And the women seem to be more like, I don't know, who do we want to stay and who do we want to go? And it was like, Janae was off limits to them. It seemed like, you know, that's her girl. That's, you know, she's their girl. And, you know, we've enjoyed really watching her.
Absolutely.
I get that they want her to find love, you know, and I know she hasn't had a chance yet, but everyone knows there's new bombshells showing up. So it's like the next person who could show up could be Janae's like Prince Charming. So like, how do you see it, I guess is what I want to know, Hannah, because I think there's two different arguments. And on one side, I can see why the men are upset, but I can also see why the women are like, you know, riding for the person they want to ride for.
I mean, yeah. Well, number one, at the end of the day, I knew 100% Janae was not going anywhere. She came in with all of us. She was an OG, you know, she was our girl. So of course, let's be real. They're not going to vote her off because they're friends with her. You know, they have a connection with her. They love her. They're not going to vote her off. But Nicole and Andrea, you know, they're new bombshells. You know, we did all get to know them. They're really cool girls. They're super fun, super nice. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision. You know, this wasn't just one person saying, hey, guys, let's just vote this person off. It was a decision that everybody had to come forth with. And they chose Andrea. Honestly, I didn't know who they were going to choose, but I could see Andrea more than Nicole. But it's hard because, you know, being around them in real life, Andrea and Rob did have something going. You know, it was pretty obvious to see it. They were progressing.
Who was one of the women kind of suggested that Andrea was kind of full of shit?
So I've seen a lot of things that people are saying they think she's a mean girl and, you know, she's not a girl's girl. And, you know, I have to say, from me being around her, that's not true. You know, I was living in their real life. Like, she was a very nice girl, but you're coming in as a bombshell, and bombshells, you know, are threats to us because we're already coupled up, and it's a bombshell's job to come in there and literally drop a bomb. Like, that's basically what they're coming to do. They're coming to stir stuff up. They're coming to bring in the drama. They're going to steal somebody's man at the end of the day, you know? And obviously, Leah is my girl, and, you know, she was first coupled up with Rob, and they had a very strong connection. And she just came in there and basically, like, took Rob just like that. So I think they might have thought about that, and I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think any part of that decision was Leah trying to, like, work her way back into a relationship with Rob?
I think, to be honest, their relationship was done.
Okay.
So I don't think she was trying to get back at Rob or anything like that. But I think they might have just thought, you know, we just want her out. You know, she might have not been vibing as well. And, you know, they might have thought of her differently. So they just all thought maybe, like, she's got to go. We want her out. That's the only way I could think about it.
Do you believe Rob's tears? Because sometimes it feels like Rob is
too much. He is like, the man needs to chill, okay? He's all about the theatrics and the dramatics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can see on the screen, and I saw in real life, I'm like, this dude is just doing too much, especially at the recoupling when it was Nicole and Andrea, and, you know, the guys got to choose if they wanted to get up. Just to see it in real life, this man is like chilling, just sitting back with Leah. And then he's like, so it takes the man like 5 minutes to get up. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Just being so dramatic. It's like, you knew you wanted to stand up. Just own it and get up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to do all that for the cameras.
Even
You know what
at
I mean?
this like where they chose this last thing where they chose the guys go home. I mean, Rob's like, well, now you're sending 3 people home, and now I'm leaving with her, and
That
then
was
to not leave with her,
crazy.
it's like you did this whole production, and now you're not even gonna go.
That's what I literally was like, this man at this point, he did so much. He needs to just pack his stuff and roll
Gotta
out
go.
with the girl. Like, please just leave with Andrea. You did all that, and then you decided to stay.
Yep.
Like, you're
Terrible.
crazy.
And I wouldn't even have faulted him had he just been like, sorry, Andrea, gotta go. Because we find out that they had only been hanging out for 4 days. And I get
Yes.
it. I know what it's like to be in these very intense atmospheres, and a day doesn't feel like a day. And I
Yep.
get that 4 days can feel like 4 weeks.
Mhm.
That being said, no one's going to expect Rob to give up on this experience that he has for
And
a
he
relationship that's only been 4 days old. So for him to make this whole scene as if like he's going to leave
It's
with the
like
love
he's
of
just
his
gonna
life, it's
pack
just
up
like,
and
come
leave.
on, bro. Like, yeah, like
You're
it
just
made no
doing too
sense.
much. And that was the thing about him. You know, I didn't have any issues with him personally, but it's just kind of the way that he acted, and he was so dramatic. It's like, dude, really? Like, you're doing too much. Like, calm down. And I'm sure you guys saw when he like swam underneath the dock. I mean, that was crazy. Like,
No, that was crazy.
I was like, I was in the room with everybody when all that was happening, and I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Like,
when it-
what is wrong
He was
with
like,
this
"Don't
guy?
talk to me," and he's undressing as he's walking, and it's as if he immediately needed to go to the pool for some.
And then the
reason.
pencil dive into the pool. The like straight.
He's
It was
so
like
dramatic. Rob, calm down, man. Like, it's not that serious. But I do get it because, you know, you don't know the day in there. You don't know the time. You're with these people 24/7, and you really do gain real feelings for these people. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
emotions do take over. I always say it was an emotional roller coaster for me as well. You know, one day I'd be so happy, and then one day, you know, I would just be sad because you don't get to talk to your family. You don't have outside interaction to anybody. So you're literally just around these people 24/7. You can't leave unless you're voted off. You know what I mean? You don't really get a break. And it's a lot mentally.
I asked this question to Nick, and he's like, I don't know the answer to this, but obviously y'all are all sleeping in the same room.
Yes.
You all have different beds. For someone to wake me up by opening the curtains is like my hell. Like, and everyone wakes up so happy. Everyone's like, "Good morning."
And it's so
Like-
funny. Every single
Like, what
day,
time is that?
I couldn't tell you the time. We
You
never
don't
knew the time. We never knew the day. They literally would just wake us up when the sun came up. I mean, they literally, you'll be laying knocked out in the bed, and then you hear, "Good morning, Islanders. Time to wake up." And I'm like, oh, can I please have 5 more minutes? And
That
then
would be
everyone
me.
else wake up so happy. And like, Hakeem would always be like jumping out the bed, like ready to go run circles around the building. And I'm like, y'all gotta give me a minute, man. Like, I want to sleep for 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
But, you know, Aaron would always come over and give every single person, you know, like a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And we all were very close. We all would all hug every morning and just be like, "Hey, how are you?" And so, you know, to be honest, we did grow really close. But that wake up call, I'd be like, "Shut up. Like, please let me sleep."
How hot is Miguel? Is he as hot
Oh,
as?
man. When y'all saw I tried to do my little workout with him. No, I'm not even kidding.
You were literally down to do anything he
I
wanted.
would have done anything with that man. I'm not kidding. He was fine. Like, they knew what they were doing. I literally prayed to the Love Island gods that day. I said, "Love Island gods, if you hear me, please send in a fine man." And then took my blindfold off after the challenge. And I'm like,
Oh my God.
am I seeing? Am I looking right? And then I just see this fine man with this accent, and like, you know, he looked good. He knew what he was saying. You know, he had this swag about him. He knew what he was doing. Okay, I'll tell you that.
Mm,
And all of us pulled him for a chat. I'm gonna tell
No.
you that.
yeah.
Oh
It
my
was
god!
first Janae, then Liv, then me, then Serena. And then I think we had to go to bed after that. And then, next day, Nicole, Leah, literally everybody. And then obviously I did a workout with him and I pulled him for another chat. I was like, so how are you feeling? Are you feeling at home?
Yeah, you were so down. Speaking of Serena, I'm really enjoying seeing that relationship unfold between her and Cordell.
I saw some of the tea. I saw the tea yesterday. My boy Cordell. Oh,
I
Lord.
know, I
I'm
felt so
feeling-
bad.
Enlighten us, Hannah.
So obviously, I didn't watch the episode. Like, I'm not going to lie and say that I did. I didn't see it, but obviously, I follow Instagram and I see the TikToks and I saw that they did this little challenge and it was like a dancing type thing. And then I don't really know how everything worked out, but I just saw that Cordell was so upset. And I guess, everybody was saying like, don't give Serena another chance because she's playing in your face and she's playing the game. And I don't know. He just looked so upset from the videos that I saw. And, like Cordell is such a sweet, genuine guy. And I'm just like, I hate that, he's feeling that way. He deserves for a bombshell to come in and, he deserves the best.
What is your read on Serena and her interest in Cordell? I mean, I guess that's the big question. We're at the part where like, yeah, he clearly liked Serena. She friend zoned him real fast. And then all of a sudden when the guys were coupling up and the recoupling, she's also like, hey, I don't know if I see this as a friendship. And like, I loved how the boys kind of came to Cordell's, defense and like gave him just some honest feedback. Honestly, I don't feel like, we don't always have friends. A lot of times friends are like, oh no, my God. Like we tell our friends what we want to hear sometimes,
Absolutely.
but I love that the boys were honest with him. Obviously he was going to pick Serena.
And that's the thing, because people were like, did you think he was going to pick you? And I'm like, no, to be honest, I knew he wasn't going to pick me. We didn't have a genuine connection. We were friends.
He's got to at least try, right? With her, he's got to at least see if there's something there.
He wanted to see it through with Serena. And that's the thing, from the jump, they got coupled up, they got to know each other. And, I'm there in real life, so I get to see what's going on and how she really feels about it. And I just feel like in the beginning, as she stated, she's a slow burner and she wanted to take things slow and, move at the pace that she wanted to. And I just think that he wanted to just jump so fast into it. And, like he wanted to kiss her and she wasn't ready for that. And then she also said when they talked, it would feel like it was scripted. She would say one thing and he literally would just act like, oh, well, actually, I think this, and this. So it just seemed so scripted to her. So that's why she decided she wanted to take a step back. But the thing about Cordell is even though she took a step back, he did not care. This man every single day would bring her breakfast. He still would try his hardest. And I respected him so much for that. I even pulled him aside and I was like, Cordell, I really respect you. You're showing so much effort. And that's what made her, kind of change her mind and be like, he's literally doing all this. I literally friend zone the kid and he still wants to pursue me. So that made her, change her mind because I saw it in real life and she did want to give him a chance. But I don't know. It's just not playing out too well how I'm seeing. And I hate that, because they're both my friends. But I'm like, dang.
So I know they're both
I'm
your
feeling
friends,
her.
but do you think it was more Serena lost interest again? Or do you think Serena seems, as a viewer, she seems very smart. She seems like she is playing the game. Honestly, I felt like she's kind of a killer in a, kind of an impressive way. I mean, like you can sit there and debate whether if she's being kind to Cordell's feelings, but that's kind of the impression I got. I'm a big fan of hers, but it's
absolutely,
I'm not buying her interest in Cordell, and I'm starting to really feel for Cordell, and it's starting to almost feel mean what Serena's doing to him.
Honestly,
but I'm wondering what your read is on that.
I do agree with you. I feel like she's tried, and I just honestly think for them, it's really just a friendship. I don't see it progressing. I do think she wanted to try and, to make it work because that's what you're in Love Island to do. You're there to explore these connections and try with people. And, at the end of the day, it's not always going to work out. I mean, take me for example, I tried and it didn't work out. So yeah, I do feel like they're just kind of prolonging it. And it's like, man, don't do Cordell like that. You know, he's a great guy. Like, that's my boy for real. And I hate to see that. I'm like, come on. Like, I don't want to see him go out like that.
Did you think Serena's reaction to Janae bringing the eggs during her conversation with Miguel was valid?
I'm not gonna lie. This man didn't even walk in the villa for like 30 minutes. The man barely even got the suitcase in the door. And then she's like, "Are you hungry?" I'm like, there's no way she's asking this man if he's hungry and he wants to eat. Like, it's a nice gesture.
3 different
get the
eggs.
man's name first. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was crazy that she made him a platter of eggs, not just scrambled. She gave him over easy. She gave him like hard boiled.
An omelet.
I was like, girl. And the fact that you went up there, because she already pulled him for the first chat. So the fact that you went up again and brought him eggs while Serena was pulled him for a chat and having a conversation, I just was like, you're doing too much. Like, let the man unpack first, you know? Like, give the dude a rest.
I did have a question. You mentioned your mom earlier. Is she watching? Like, what does she think?
Oh yeah, my mom, she's been watching everything. She was the one running my Instagram. And I was like, Mom, please don't screw this up for me. So she was literally running my account. She was seeing everything. So yeah, my mom was getting the 411, the tea. Like, she knew what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
She and all her girlfriends were watching in. You know, I had so many people back home watching me and rooting for me. And honestly, it's pretty crazy to see because I'm in a villa. I don't know anything that's going on. And just to come back home and kind of see everything unfold, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot.
Having lived the experience, then watching what they put on television, like, does it transfer the same? Are you like, nope, that's how that went down? Or are you like, oh, I didn't know that so and so was feeling that kind of way?
I'm not gonna lie, there's some things that I did see. You know, I haven't watched everything over because I'm not gonna lie, I lived it in real life, so it's kind of hard to just want to rewatch it. You know,
yeah.
But I have seen things, and I'm not gonna lie. You know, me and Kendall, we were, you know, paired by default, but our connection did grow. And, you know, I thought it was going somewhere, but I would see, you know, in some of his beach huts, kind of, you know, what he would tell me played out a little bit differently on the screen. And I felt like he was more interested in me. And then it came off on the screen as he wasn't really that interested in me. So I did, you know, when I saw it, I was like, okay, like, you know, I thought he was interested in me. And then I'm seeing it play back and I'm like, it actually didn't really look like he was that interested in me.
Right.
I maybe thought he was more, but in real life, you know, he was acting like that to me. You know, we had a connection. We were having so much fun and we did want to see where it was going to go.
You two in the bathroom or like in the getting ready room. I was like, oh my God, this is spicy.
It was getting a little hot and spicy. I'm not going to lie. It was getting a little spicy. So that's, you know, we just started off having so much fun and everything was just growing organically and, you know, nothing was weird, but then everything started, you know, kind of falling off and we just didn't have that spark anymore. And obviously you could see that on the screen that it started just, you know, we drifted apart and just became more friends.
Yeah, but that leads me to my next question, which is the kiss, or what was the waterfall challenge, where you chose Hakeem and all of the men were losing their minds over you women choosing not your couple. What made you choose Hakeem? And like, were you expecting the fallout from that? Like, there like the repercussions that came after the fact, the reactions?
So I will tell you, obviously, as a viewer seeing that, you know, it looked crazy, but you know, obviously I was there. So how it played out for us in real life, we went into this challenge and all of us girls were like, this is a challenge. Challenges are meant to be fun. It's a game. Nobody take anything personal. And we all told each other, do not choose your partner.
Yeah.
So that's how we went about it. So we went as a game. It was meant to be funny. So, you know, obviously you guys wouldn't know that, you know what I mean? Like how we played it out in real life. So it was a game. Literally everybody said, don't choose your partner, do something funny. So, you know, not everybody went along with that, but of course, you know me, you know, I'm going to go along with it. So everybody's like, you should choose Hakeem. It'll be funny. Say like, oh, I want to target Hakeem because I know you miss me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm going to do it. So literally I was just like, okay, I'm targeting Hakeem. And then, you know, we do this dramatic like pick up. And then I literally fall down and I start drowning. I get water all in my eyes. So I was like, in my defense, I really didn't even kiss the guy. I just fell in the water and I was like, help me. So it was really, to be honest, funny for all of us around, but the guys did not see it that way. They were pissed. Every single one of the guys was like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You could have picked anybody, but you chose to pick Hakeem. And now looking back, like, to be honest, I do get it, because if Kendall would have done that to me, I would have been pissed as well. And Kendall was very pissed. And that's where, honestly, after the challenge, that's where things it kind of just stopped for us. And he said that he wanted to take a step back. He had his walls up. So yeah, like now looking back, I do get it. Because if he would have done that to me, I would have like, see ya, bye.
Next.
So I do get it. Yeah, seriously, like, bye. Send me a bombshell.
As the girls, did you explain to them that it was like all a joke and that you guys, because I feel like all of the guys had like a very adverse reaction
They
to
were
it.
pissed.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Me and Kendall, we pulled each other for a chat. And that was the first thing I said. I said, I want to explain to you how this challenge played out. And I literally told him how we thought of it, what we said to each other. We literally said, don't choose your couple, choose somebody else and do something to be funny. Don't take anything serious. So I'm sure you saw everybody, for the most part, did choose a different guy that wasn't in their couple. Some people chose their couple, but we all, we're crazy and we wanted to have fun and just be funny. But the guys, oh my gosh, that night in the villa, the vibe was terrible. Everybody was pissed. Some of the guys were crying.
No.
I mean, the guys, oh my gosh, it was a lot. I was like, you know what? I can't take this. Like, I'm sorry that you feel like that. It was a joke. And I really feel so bad. And I hope that you can forgive me. And I don't want our connection to end.
Yeah.
But if that's the way you feel, I gave him his space. I was like, I am going to give you your space. You take time to think about it. I respect you and I want you to, feel comfortable. So I honestly kind of just stepped back from Kendall. I gave him his space. And then, the bombshell came in, Nicole came in, and I saw it. I knew it. I don't think they aired this, but I talked to the guys before Nicole and that night happened. And I was like, I feel like me and Kendall are not progressing. He's just not doing things that I want. Like, for a man, I want a man to reassure me and physical affection and attention. And he just wasn't giving me that.
Yeah.
Every night we would have like one conversation. He'd pull me and he'd be like, oh, how are you? How's your day going? And that would be it. And then we kind of just go our own ways and just hang out with everybody. Okay. So at that point I was like, it's not progressing. I want a man that wants to be around me all the time and enjoys my presence. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say that he didn't enjoy my presence, but there wasn't a spark anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So well, it died out after that.
From your experience in the villa, who do you think has the strongest connection in the house?
At the moment, I will say Aaron and Kaylor. They have the strongest connection. Being around them in real life, you can just see what a genuine connection they formed. And they're so comfortable around each other. They're so cute. They talk about their best friends on the show, but in real life, they are best friends, and it's very clear to see. And I think the viewers can see that as well. So, I'm rooting for them. I always would tell them, I want what you guys have. Like, you're very comfortable around each other. And, I hope that it works out for them. But they right now are who I think is the strongest couple in the villa.
Well, thank you, Hannah, so much for joining us. You are such a pleasure to watch on the show. We love you.
Thank you so much.
We love speaking to you. And we wish you all.
I love speaking to you guys too.
I was thinking Natalie could say goodbye, but we were just happy to have you. Yeah. And thank you for joining us.
For manifesting all the love for you.
Thank you guys.
Truly.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Well, we'll see you later.
Yes, guys. Perfect. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Caraway! We love caraway. What can I say? We have so many caraway pots and pans and bakeware that, we don't regret it because we love cooking almost every day. We love baking, and thank God.
Let's not say we, because you love cooking and cleaning. I hate cleaning, but Caraway makes it so easy with their naturally slick surface, which means minimal oil and butter for slide off the pan eggs and easy cleaning.
Just trying to say oil, everybody. Don't worry. It's also non-toxic. Caraway products are made without any toxic materials like the PFAs or PTFEs or PTFOAs or all those other hard-to-pronounce chemicals that are very scary in a lot of the pots and pans you're probably cooking with. Again, super easy to clean, like Natalie said. It looks good in your cabinets. It's stylish. They have many different styles and designs to pick from. You gotta have cookware. We've been cooking with Caraway for over 3+ years now, and we will not be changing anytime soon. Over 65,000 people have rated their Caraway kitchen sets with 5 stars. And now it's time to try it for yourself.
And just as a reminder, the internet famous cookware set comes with the saute pan, fry pan, Dutch oven, and saucepan, plus lids for all of them, a canvas lid holder, and a magnetic pan rack for storage. It's the ultimate kitchen setup and will save you $150 versus buying the items individually.
Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/VIALL10, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/VIALL10 or use code VIALL10 at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
There are a few products that I swear by. There are a few companies and things that I use every single day of my life that I swear by, and Ritual is one of them. I used it before I got pregnant. I used it during my pregnancy, and I'm currently using it after my pregnancy. Listen, they make the best stuff on the market. During my pregnancy, I was so sick. I couldn't stomach literally anything. I was throwing up nonstop, but I knew I needed nutrients. I knew I had to give my baby something, and Ritual's prenatal was the only thing I could stomach. They have them essenced in mint and citrus was the one that I loved. It's just so easy to go down. I took it every single night before bed, and I feel like that honestly gave my baby everything she needed in the beginning when I wasn't able to eat the right stuff. Ritual is a prenatal multivitamin designed for mom to baby support with vegan, bioavailable, and science-backed key nutrients. They're designed with morning sickness in mind. Each capsule features a delayed release design to help it make gentle on an empty stomach. So it literally dissolves in your small intestines, which is a key place to absorb nutrients. It's amazing. It's the best stuff ever. It's so important to know what you're putting into your body, especially when you're pregnant. And with Ritual's dedication to traceable science and sourcing, you always will. See for yourself with 25% off your first month for a limited time at ritual.com/VIALL. Washing your hair is important, but finding the perfect shampoo and conditioner combo that works for your hair type can be a frustrating experience. Well, Ouai is here to fix that problem. Whether your strands are fine, medium, or thick, Ouai has shampoo and conditioner that's your type. From volume and shine to deeply hydrating, Ouai helps you find your way to good hair days every single day. The shampoo and conditioner made to nourish every hair type and tackle exactly what your hair is lacking. Want volume? Fine hair conditioner will give you a lift without weighing you down. In between fine and thick hair problems, wash your Ouai to happy medium with medium shampoo and conditioner. Want moisture? Give your thick strands a hydration they deserve with thick hair shampoo and conditioner. They have literally everything for every single hair type. They also have the detox shampoo, which is really great if you have been using a bunch of products in your hair recently. You've been like slicking your hair back or using a lot of hairspray. The detox shampoo just really gets everything out of there so that your hair feels like it is thoroughly washed. If you're not sure what your hair type is, you can take a hair quiz to find out, and you can stock up on your favorites with a 32-ounce shampoo and conditioner refill pouches.
Wash your way to healthier hair with shampoos and conditioners made just for you. Go to theouai.com. That's THEOUAI.com and enter promo code ViallFiles for 15% off any product. Again, that's theouai.com, promo code ViallFiles, THEOUAI.com, promo code ViallFiles. Well, that was so much fun talking with Hannah. Sorry, we lost power at the lake for temporarily. I don't know if you guys, can you guys hear the generator in back?
No.
Amazing. That's like we lose power so much at the lake that there's a built-in generator that automatically turns on when the power goes off, which is great, except that like when you're recording a podcast.
It's giving vintage.
So sorry about the technical difficulties.
We're vintage over here.
Keeping it vintage. All right. Well, Hannah, what do we think of Hannah? Hannah, obviously, is such a delight.
Such a ball of energy.
You could tell that she was like so much fun in the house, and I genuinely feel like her energy will be missed.
I wish the show would do a better job of, maybe it's too early in the season, but like, I wish they would have tried to find Hannah Love. I think at first when she came on the scene, you're like, who is this? Obviously, big personality, you're kind of caught off guard by some of her antics. and you're not necessarily rooting for her from the get, but the more you get to know her, you appreciate her, you want to see her find her person. And I think that would make a great storyline to have had a bombshell come in for Hannah. So it was like kind of a bummer. I just like sometimes, maybe the producer's just going to let it play out the way they want it to play out. And maybe she just gives friend vibes more often than not. It was a shame not to have her find love.
Truly.
Yeah, but I'm sure she's very happy to not have been involved in the girls vote girl home, guys vote guy home, because that was fucked.
What did you make of that, Sierra? Like, I kind of see it both ways. Like, objectively speaking, the women did Andrea dirty.
Yeah.
Like, I think that those are facts. I mean, they just were like, we're not as close with you. You're gone. We don't give a fuck about your connection with Rob. Do you think that they were playing Friend Island versus Love Island? Or is it like, hey, they made us vote, we got to vote, and we get to choose how we vote? Like, how would you have done it? Like, would you have rode for your girlies? Or
For sure.
I mean, yeah, obviously would have rode for my girlies, but I'm like, it's pretty apparent that I'm like, and Andrea had the strongest connection with Rob in the house, but I'm like, it's hard for me when everyone's like, no, Leia didn't do it because of this, and I'm like, oh, I feel like Leia still has feelings for Rob, and so it's easy to point out that like, oh, we could get rid of her because she's the new girl, but I'm like, in actuality, it's because you want to make a move on Rob again.
And like you heard Kaylor say that like Rob's gonna be pouty because we sinned, but he still has like a connection with Leia, so like maybe it'll be Leah. Sorry, we have a Leia on our team.
yeah, it's tough. It's Leah, not Leia.
But yeah, but she did say like, well, they do still have a connection, so he'll probably be fine. And Leah was like, yeah.
And we've been watching
I'm not mad
Leia
about
be
that.
like, I'm not really that into Connor. So it's like, yeah, why? Because your connection's not as strong as it was with Rob. So I'm like, I feel like it was a very pointed decision, that it wasn't just like, oh, well, we just did it by girls and did it. No, you wanted to shot at Rob and Andrea being out of the way. Made it a little easier. I feel like it's 101 shit.
Okay, question. If the roles were reversed, do you think the men would have done the same as the women? And for example, do you think, like, let's say, I don't know, like they weren't like that good of friends with Hakeem. So like,
obviously Rob, they were, Aaron sobbed and like had to take him to the side and be like, please don't leave.
yeah. So let's say let's say Rob was on the chopping block at first. So let's say the women had to let's say the guys had to send home the guys first. Like, do you think if they had the opportunity, it wasn't like
if Hakeem was in a serious relationship with Janae, they were evolving, it was going great. Rob maybe like wasn't in a great one, and who was the last guy? Kendall, obviously in a good relationship with Nicole. Would they have chopped Rob?
Would they have sent Rob home, or would they have saved Rob?
I think they would have
I think
saved
they would have
Rob.
saved him.
I was like, yeah, there was tears shed at the idea of the man going home. He wouldn't even get sent home. He's volunteering himself, and they're like, no, man, please. I'm like, they would have saved him for sure, regardless of his relationship status with somebody in the house.
It was always amazing hearing Rob like be like, if I stay, man, I'm only going to stay for you, Aaron. Like, Rob was always trying to find a reason to justify him staying that didn't include Rob just like not wanting to go and still wanting him to be on TV.
Right?
And
Right?
it's like, bro.
Because Aaron said something about like, he's like, it's not Friend Island, it's Love Island. And then it's like, but yet you're crying because your friend who you will not end up in love with to leave the island. So that doesn't make any sense. You're sitting there getting mad at all the girls because they're not playing Love Island, they're playing Friend Island, but you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. The more I thought about it, like when it was first going down, I was like, this is kind of fucked. The women are screwing over Andrea. But the fact that Rob is like kind of fine already, and the fact that he didn't go home,
Yeah.
it was like if they're like the 4 days kind of puts a wrench in that argument just a tad. I mean, like I wouldn't expect anyone to go home after 4 days.
It was the production that he made.
Yes, the
It was the
grandiose
standing
reaction.
up and running behind and holding her, and Ariana being like, well, what are you going to do? And he's like, I'm going home. Now you sent 3 people. Like, it was the whole, if he hadn't have done that, I feel like it would be different.
Yeah, I know. But listen, I'm not in the business of defending Rob, but clearly he is a drama queen. Like, we know this.
Facts.
Like, so he handled his reaction poorly. And yes, he didn't go home. But like, would we expect anyone to go home after 4 days of any relationship? Probably not, right? But that being said, doesn't Rob still have the right to be like really upset? Here he is on a show called Love Island. It's about finding connection. He seemed to, even by Hannah's like words, there seemed to be an actual connection there. And like all of a sudden, for no valid reason other than like, we just want to save our girl, they're like, we're going to send home the girl you're really vibing with, that you have potential with, because we don't like her. I mean, if I'm Rob, I would be furious. I would. Like, it would, you know, whether he sticks around and, you know, the big question is, does Rob move on with some other bombshell? Or Leah or whatever. But like, if he does, then I have no pity for him. But like, if you're taking Rob and Andrea at face value, he has every right to be pretty furious with them just like sending home the one girl he's really vibing with. And that's the point of the show.
But that's it. That's kind of the end all be all, though, is the fact that like you're making it out like, oh, I finally found somebody that I'm interested in, so I'm going to leave with her. But then it's like you wouldn't have sympathy for him if he ends up like hooking up with a bombshell. However, it's like none of it's real. Like, you know what I mean? If you really thought that this person was your end all be all, you would leave with them because you're like, cool, I've met my match. You're just spending a couple extra days. And if a bombshell comes in and you're not interested, you're just going to leave. So you bought a couple extra days in the villa. But what's your actual purpose in being there if you're not going to make a connection with somebody else that walks in?
Well, how is he supposed to know if this is his person? He's
the one that got up being like, what the fuck? You guys are fucked up.
Again,
like, you're
yes. No. His reaction to the situation was poor. Like, Rob being a reactive guy and handling his emotions poorly is a kind of a separate argument, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, he can be bad at handling this. He can be bad at reacting to a situation and still be valid for being upset. Like, him threatening to go home was obviously a performance.
Mm-hmm.
That was part of the reaction. That was him throwing his temper tantrum. We all knew he wasn't really going to go. But
right.
He still has a very legitimate right to be really upset and feel like the women screwed him over.
Sure.
Right? Like,
but then why would you want to stay in a house where you think nobody's happy for you or like ruining your relationship chances? Because he genuinely made it seem as if it was like all the girls are just like, they don't like Rob, so they want to mess with him. And it's like, no, if you're going to be open to the experience, then it's like, okay. And if you're not going to leave with the person you're claiming is your person, then that means you're open to a new relationship. So what's with the grandiose reaction?
The grand reaction is he's bad. He's a poor reactor. He's a baby.
Yeah, he's a big
dramatic.
big
He's
baby.
just dramatic.
Theatrical.
You know.
Yeah,
But I
he's a
just
big
think
baby.
it doesn't. Like, for example, if it was Kendall and he was like, oh man, like, and let's say he was calmly like, that is really upsetting, ladies. Why did you do that? And like, I don't know why you did that. And it's like, my instinct is to leave, but obviously, like, let's say he was so level-headed about it, like, he can still be mad, you know? And like, I just think Rob's reaction, the more I think about it, doesn't, like, he was never going to leave.
Yeah,
and
it's
like
just
the
not
fact
that
that he only
serious.
known her for 4 days.
Yeah.
Sure, but like, it's more the potential. Like, it's so hard to find a connection, I think, in these places, and a connection you think you can grow on. I think it's easy to find the spark. I think it's easy to find someone who you think is hot. But I think it's much harder, you know, to find someone you're really interested in, you want to grow. And I think he had that in Andrea, and they just kind of cut him at his knees.
Yeah, so leave. Follow her. She wanted him to. You're going to be at a hotel for a couple of days before you fly home, figure out what the plans are. But I'm like, I also think that the reality of the situation is if you guys don't live in the same state, same like accessibility, it's just not going to last. So I think he probably also had the reality check of, if I leave now, I'm off the show. And this might not go somewhere. So then what?
Yeah. I hear you. I don't know.
I don't know, but I love this show so much. Like, I have never been. We stayed up again until midnight last night. Just Nick's like,
I
"We
wanted to go to
have
bed,
go
and
to
now
bed."
he's just like, let's just keep watching. The part where they did Kendall so dirty when Miguel's talking to Nicole, and he's just, and Miguel is one of the smoothest men I've ever seen on camera. Like, the boy like has it all. He's very confident. He's got the moves. He's got the accent. He's very self-aware. And they show Miguel talking to Nicole and just saying how he, you know, I think a man should make the first move, and if a man's interested, I think he should make it obvious, and it's his job to let the woman know that it's that his interest is there. And then cut to Kendall being like, I am, what is it? What was the song he
I'm
made
sexy.
up?
Who's sexy? I'm sexy. Who's sexy?
I'm
And then he's
confident.
like, genuine intentions. Intentions.
Yeah, genuine intentions, but genuine and like, I don't, like, what was that?
It's kind of cute.
Just
No,
showing
it was terrible. It was brutal.
polar opposites.
And they just like, and he's doing like a backward skip, and he just keeps saying like, "Who's sexy? I'm sexy." And then it's just flat, and then back to Miguel and Nicole, and they're making out, and it's all this stuff, and then back to Kendall, and he's skipping backwards. It's just.
I wonder
They
if that
did
was
it really
happening in real time or if that was just good editing. Either way, like it did make me like Kendall more. I mean, clearly he's definitely a dork. We read him correctly that way, but it was very endearing. Like, and he's definitely like, and he had the self-awareness to be like, I am nothing like this guy. I'm curious for you ladies, like, was that giving you the ick? Or like, I mean, obviously Miguel, see, to me, it's just like Miguel, obviously sexy, good looking, very much like fuckboy energy. Like this guy, I mean, I don't think any of these guys are leaving this island in a committed relationship, but Miguel is definitely not leaving Love Island in a committed relationship. Miguel is not going to leave this show in a relationship where he can't just have a bunch of sex. That is a guarantee. And to me, it's like when you hear Nicole say things like, I don't know, he like, I love Kendall and he makes me feel good and we have a great connection. She even kind of talked about their compatibility. And then she's like, Miguel, but he just makes me feel nervous. And she says it as if it's like the greatest thing of all time. And what do we always say about like red flags and the spark and things like that? And here we're watching this dynamic go down. And like, I'll be shocked if at the end of this season, when we have a chance to, you know, dissect the relationship between, I don't know what's going to happen between Nicole and Miguel. It seems pretty obvious. Even Kendall knows that she's going to pick Miguel.
Yeah.
But when this all plays out, I would be shocked if Nicole does not feel led on or played by Miguel.
Yeah, I would agree. I respect Kendall for being like, I'm so done. Like, this is just not what I thought it was with Nicole. And I understand his like not talking to her at all the next day. And I don't know. I root for Kendall. I really.
Yeah. So what would be, how do you think Kendall could have handled it any differently? Like if.
I think he handled it perfectly.
And Natalie and I were talking about this last night, Sierra.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like when a guy, like if you're Kendall in this situation, I feel like when you, as a guy, and Justin would love your take on this as a gay man, but as a straight man, if I'm talking to a girl and we have a vibe and all of a sudden I find out she wants to talk to another guy, I'm not competing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm very much kind of doing what Kendall did. Like, I give Kendall props for being like, this, you know what? You like him. I'm not going to compete. Like, you know, that's your thing. If you don't like me for who I am, I'm going to back off. And it seems like, you know, at least with like some of the women in the villa, they love to compete. You know, it's just like like fucking Leah. Boy, I mean, like, I love Leah's honesty. I mean, good for Leah for like kind of jokingly be like, I realized that after talking to Connor, I am not a good person and I just love the drama.
She's like, I'm ill.
I'm ill. Like, it's very charming, her honesty.
Yeah.
But like, but it seems pretty common that like, you know, how would you guys be in that situation? Because I think as a guy, I would do what Kendall did. I would back off. I'd been like, hey, listen, if that's what you like him. Let me know if you change your mind. But I'm not gonna like compete back and forth. I'm not going to wait my turn and like do a little, you know, talent show for you or whatever it is. You know, I'm just like, if you want to get to know me more, let me know, but I'm not going to like bide my time or I'm not going to wait my turn. And I just feel like most guys are like that.
That's valid.
I feel like a lot of women are different, but like, I do think a majority of them want to be like chosen and want to be the baddest and want to be like, you know, well, I can make him do this. And well, you know, I feel like a majority of women do kind of have that like competitiveness in them, but I don't think it's all. And I think there are some women who are like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not interested in this like chasing game. I don't do this shit. Like,
I think emotional intelligence and being direct is attractive, where I'm like saying like what you just said, Nick, like if Kendall would have gone up to Nicole and been like, hey, I understand that guy, this, and that, but like, I'm really into you. I'm going to give you your space to figure that out. But like, I'm also not going to compete. I think being told that somebody is very into you is something to where I'm like, she would have had a clear idea where I'm like, just like not talking to her the next day. That would read to me like, you want nothing to do with me, or I fucked up so badly.
Affirmations.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
Where I'm like the confirmation that not only are you interested, but you're just not interested in competing. Like, I feel like that would make me want to go to you before being with the showboat guy that's doing one-handed push-ups.
Silence is an answer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting. I was watching it. That's an interesting point here, because I was watching and thinking, what could Kendall do in this moment to basically change the power dynamic, right? Because in this moment, Nicole's in power, right? Here she has this relationship with Kendall. Miguel walks in. He's sexy. He seems most interested in her. So now she's in this driver's seat of having the options, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this whole villa seems to be about like whoever holds the power is the most attractive in that situation, right? Like if you're someone who has options, you seem to like, feel like you're in power.
Yeah.
And so the question is, in the situation, how can Kendall reclaim his power? And it's a very challenging situation, but you're right. Like that might be the only way, Sierra. It's hard to do in real time. Like, it's fine if he doesn't want to pursue her anymore, but to communicate that, to say, hey, I'm just going to let you know, I like you. I let you know, I know how I feel about you. I'm not confused. I get how this game is played. So you're not doing anything wrong, but I'm not going to compete, and I'm going to sit, I don't want to sleep in the same bed. I don't want to share, and like, he could have done it in a way where it's like, she knows where he's coming from. That's probably, he would have to do it in a way that's very confident and very matter of fact. I don't know if it would work, but
I think her being aware of where he stands in that situation, or that his feelings haven't changed for her, he's not being clear with that, but he's telling the boys and telling everybody else in the house his anxieties and how he's feeling, where it's like, no, she should be the one that you're telling, because then it would confirm to her, okay, he is very much interested in me. And even then, the show pony guy that like everybody's into, good and great for the moment, but like it takes one thing where you're like, oh, I have a stand-up guy that really likes me and who like gives me space. Like, I feel like he would be winning in that scenario versus a bunch of girls competing for the attention of muscle guy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that's what he could have done differently. I mean, I give Kendall some grace. I think most of us wouldn't have handled it any differently.
Right.
I also wonder if he was, because it's two different things to like ignore someone, to have like Nicole go up to him and be like, hey, how are you? And him just like not say anything and walk away. And then to just like have your space and just kind of distance yourself and kind of be alone that day. Like, those are two different things. And so I feel like if he were ignoring her, that's like, to your point, Sierra, I feel like that's like giving her more room to pursue Miguel. But I feel like if he's just like taking space and processing everything that Miguel told him last night of like, hey, yeah, she said she's like open to choosing me. Like, that's kind of a bomb.
How did Kendall find out first? Did he find it from Miguel or Nicole?
No,
Miguel.
Nicole sat him down after like all the drama with Andrea and was like, this is a terrible time to tell you, but
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Literally.
All right.
and then Miguel gets in bed with him and he's like, yeah, I know she told you, but also she said she's open to choosing me. So I don't know. I do respect Kendall a lot for the way that he handled it. I do think he did the best he could.
I think he did the best he could. I don't have any like criticisms as like, oh, I can't believe he did it this way.
Yeah.
I'm just like wondering if could he have done something different to like make Nicole question her decision like in that moment. Like, kind of to Sierra's point. It's just like we've seen men like Miguel make a great first impression only to like show who their true colors. And I don't know anything about Miguel. Maybe he's truly like the most wonderful guy. And despite this suave that he has, he's like a one-woman man.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a good chance that like he's in the prime of his, fuckboy era. And he's just like no way going to leave this show in a relationship. And if anyone between Kendall and Miguel has the best chance of you leaving with something like meaningful, it seems to be Kendall,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering if Kendall could have done anything in that moment to make Nicole question her decision. Cause it's obvious right now that like everyone on Love Island does this thing. Like Rob seems to be the master of it. But like even Nicole, when she's just like, I'm just like having a moment. Like to me, that was a bullshit. Like the truth is I know I like Miguel better, and I don't know how to let Kendall off the hook. And like Nicole in that moment is trying to almost like want people. She wants the girl's sympathy. She wants everyone to feel like she's going through it. This is a difficult decision. She doesn't know what she can do. You know, she doesn't know why Kendall's handling it. But I think deep down, she knows what she wants to do. And she's trying to figure out how to navigate making that decision without limiting like the collateral damage.
But I also think she doesn't want to hurt Kendall's feelings. I do think she really does care about Kendall, and she like
Totally.
is scared to, you know.
But I just don't think it's genuine when she's making it seem like her struggle is about the decision she doesn't know if she can make. And I'm saying she knows her decision. She's just trying to figure out how to go about it. And I think she's trying to sell us that that her emotions are about not knowing. And I think she knows for sure. And like, just like Rob knew he wasn't going to go, you know, but he's like talking out loud. Well, if I stay, I'm only going to stay for you, Aaron. And then like with Andrea, he was just like, well, you know, the thing is, if I stay and like, you know, have sex with more women and I don't like it, then I guess that maybe we're destined to be together, you know, as if he's like trying to convince Andrea like it's going to be okay to stay. Meanwhile, you already knew Rob had decided to stay and he was walking back his like outburst in real time.
Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of hilarious to see people do that because it's so obvious to me that's what they're really doing. You know, it's also crazy to hear people like when they have conversations, like when Nicole's talking to Kendall and oh my God, so I got to tell you, he kissed me. It's like, girl, no, you kissed him like multiple times.
They kissed each other, and then she was like, should we kiss again before we go up there?
Yeah.
Babe.
And then it's just like, but yeah, he kissed me. And it's always funny how people say things to the other person. You know, it's just like, it's always two different stories or from what we saw for what they say. They always try to like water it down.
Miguel goes to Liv and he's like, so we ended up kissing.
Yeah, we ended up kissing. As if you fell into a kiss. Like
I don't know how it happened.
We ended up kissing. We didn't know how it happened. Something. It just
we bumped into each other. And
I closed my eyes. When I opened them, her mouth was on my mouth.
We ended up kissing. Yeah.
It's giving Harry Melinda.
Like in reality, you waited for her to like make eye contact. You grabbed her face and you like threw her tongue down her throat. Like that is not the story you told.
Most people know when they pull somebody for a chat that the end goal is to get a kiss out of it. Like you're not like, oh my gosh, I sat down and had this conversation. All of a sudden I was swept with the emotion of I need a kiss right now. It's like, no, bro, I pulled you over here in a dark court. We went upstairs away from everyone's view to sit in a bed of pillows. But no, I don't want to make out. I just want to talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, we are. I don't know. Why are we Why have we been sleeping on Love Island? Like again, Sierra, Love Island last season. I know you're girly, your bestie.
Yep.
Sarah was the host, but like you know, Sarah doesn't produce the show. There's clearly a lot of differences. It seems like this season. What is so better about Love Island USA this season than others that are competing with UK?
Honestly, USA is just like one of the newer, the babies of the franchises. So I think it's just, and it's also a shorter period of time. So I feel like it's just slowly starting to like get its legs as each year goes on. To where it's like, okay, this time, like we came in, they did proper casting. There was no confusion because a lot of the times US gets a little boring where I'm like, I feel like this is the first season where it's just like, you've got firecracker personalities. They brought not foreign people, but like, you know, British and Australian
international
contestant. Thank you. International contestants to where it's like, okay, now you also are giving us the original vibe of the UK and Australia Love Island. So I'm like, I think they're playing into their strengths.
They had some good music choices too.
They have the best music, by the way.
Do you also feel like they're introducing more of the lingo that made Love Island UK so popular? It seems like I'm hearing more of the castmates like
we get on
like and things like that. Was that always happening in the original Love Island seasons, or is that new?
It's happened in original
For
Love
USA.
Island seasons, but it's for USA, but it's it doesn't come as natural. So them having the international contestants on there too, it just makes it like flow and it seems proper. Like I don't know. Even I was on the phone with Sarah yesterday and I said crack on because I watched the UK version. She goes, that came out of your mouth way too naturally. But I'm like, you just pick up the language and you're like, yep, nope, I'm British.
It's so addicting. Anyways, if you're not watching Love Island USA, you gotta tune in. We're highly enjoying it. We are not just saying that.
Yeah, take it from me. I was against it for so long. Y'all heard me complain, and then now I'm like, oh my god.
It's very, very good. We do have to get going. Don't worry, we are back next Tuesday for reality recap. It's our the only reality recap we're doing next week. We still haven't gotten into the perfect match kind of fallout. Where are they now? I think there's a lot to get into to pack up, like Steven and Alora and Micah and Kaz, and obviously the Harry and Jess is a situation that like there seems to be a lot of tea there that we don't know about, what's going on. Lots to get into and so much more. So we will kick off that conversation. Thanks for sticking with us. Sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody. We appreciate you listening. Go check out that Micah episode if you haven't already. And we will see you back on Monday for Ask Nick and then reality recap on Tuesday. See you then. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.